Hello, everyone. What's going on? It's Sal Stretford Post. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to Chatterbox and the live preview of Manchester United against Brentford. A game that Man United really don't need to win. But you know what? We need to start winning some games in the Premier League, don't we? I know that the Europa League is the most important trophy that we're looking forward to on Thursday, of course. But you know what? This game is very important. It is for example, respect and pride. My hair's all over the place, but there you go. Can't have everything in life. For respect and pride, guys. That's what it's all about. And getting Man United a little bit further up that league table and maybe finishing ahead of Tottenham. Maybe that might be a kind of morale boost if we do end up playing Tottenham in the final of the Europa League. It might be in a morale boost, won't it, at the end of the day? So, you know what? It's one of those games we can relax a little bit. We can watch it. Maybe we might play some youngsters in the game. That would be great. You know, to see the likes of Kamasan and Mantato and players such as that. That would be fantastic. But you know what? It's highly unlikely. We will probably get the likes of Eriksson and Lindelof and players like that playing, of course. So obviously, what we can say is that, all we can say is that we can relax and we can watch the game and do the watch along and build up to the game on Thursday, which hopefully Man United qualify for the Europa League. There's been a lot of talking from Athletic Bilbao over the last few days about how they're going to come to Old Trafford and rack up 3 goals and whatever they're going to do. I mean, look, I'm not saying that they're not. I mean, absolutely not going to say that, of course. Spare me a second. Yeah, I'm definitely not saying that. But what I would say is that football is unpredictable. And when we do enter the game on Thursday, we have to ensure that we are ready, that we approach it with professionalism, etc. It's 3-0 on aggregate. And to be honest with you, you know what? It should be curtains, really. If we're being honest, it should be curtains. But you know what? Football is a funny game. It's a funny game. And we have to take it seriously. Of course, guys, absolutely. But thank you, everyone who's joining me today. I'm going to be giving you my predicted lineup, my predicted score for the game tomorrow as well against Brentford. So that is going to be obviously interesting. Let me just build up this up. 1 second. I'm going to be giving you some of the updates as well, guys, because obviously there are games today. So Aston Villa are beating Fulham by 1-0 at the moment. So that is a game that is going on right now. Obviously, most of the games will kick off about, I believe, 6 o'clock today. So a lot of the games will be kicking off about 6 o'clock today. So there you are, guys. Absolutely. So when we get into this, game against Brentford. Look, we have had a very mixed fortunes against Brentford over the last few years. I mean, they did beat us 4-0, remember, at their ground. Only, was it 2 years ago? They are a bit of a bogey team, in particular away from home. At home, we've been okay. And when we look at the last time Manchester United did ended up playing Brentford at home, Man United did squeeze the game. We all remember with McTominay's last couple of goals, of course, guys. We all remember Man United turnaround in the last minute, which basically at that time saved Ten Hag from the sack. It saved Ten Hag from losing his job. And who would have envisioned that this season would go like this? This was in October. It seems, when you look at this game here, when you think about this game here, it just seems like years ago, doesn't it? It seems like years ago. It seems like this game happened a long time ago. And but it didn't. It happened this season. And to be honest with you, I mean, it was a sign of things to come. McTominay no longer plays for Manchester United, of course, playing for Napoli now. When you look at that picture, Martinez has been injured for the whole season. There's been a lot of changes at Manchester United. Been quite a few changes at Man United, to be fair, and since this game. But this represents a game that Man United against Brentford. Now, Man United against Brentford, in particular at Brentford, is what I'm worried about, because Man United don't do well at Brentford. Maybe, just maybe, Man United might turn up tomorrow, might do something special tomorrow, maybe, and maybe we might win the game, and that would be nice. That would be nice. But the problem is that that extra little bit of spice in regards to the game is not there. We don't have that incentive to win, and that is a little bit of an issue when it comes to mentality, and that's an issue when I think about this Man United team right now, is that we don't have that thing where it doesn't matter if we don't win, but you know what, we're going to win anyway. You know what I mean? And that sort of thing, which I don't think we have anymore, which is a little bit, strange going forward, of course, guys. But yeah, that is how it goes, guys. That's how it goes. But when you look at, I'm going to bring in my lineup for the game, guys. I'm going to bring up my lineups for the game. This is the lineup I picked for Brentford against United. So this is the game. This is the team that it's not really a prediction, really. I wouldn't say it's a prediction, but what I would say is that it's basically what I think should happen. What I think, give and take a couple of players, give and take a few players. And this is what I'm talking about. This is the type of team that I want to see tomorrow. It is, because I want to see De Ligt and Ahmad play. The reason I want to see De Ligt and Ahmad play is because I want them to get match fit for Thursday. So I believe that Ahmad and De Ligt should be playing for one half of football, and so should Luke Shaw. Should be playing for one half of football so they can get match fit. So by Thursday, we are ready. They are ready. Those players are ready. When we look at the left right back, I'm really excited to see Mantato, right winger, attacking midfielder, really good. I really want to see Mantato play. And also, I want to see Harry Amas given another chance, because I want to see him play. I'm a big fan of Harry Amas. People know me. No, I'm a big fan of Harry Amas. They know I'm part of the Harry Amas fan club, of course. Ugarte is a little bit of a question. We don't have many players who can play in that central defensive midfield position. I wanted to rest Casemiro. I thought Casemiro being rested is advisable. We do need Casemiro's experience for the rest of the season. So working Casemiro's playing time is very, very important for me, in my opinion. Working their player time is very important. I would start Fredrickson. Was very impressed with Fredrickson the last time he played. And also, Bayindir should start in goal. Really, it should be. My prediction for the game is Manchester United 1, Brentford 1. I think Man United will get a draw. I got a feeling Man United would do something tomorrow. I don't know why. But I think Chido also, when you're looking at the attacking positions, Chido should start tomorrow. He should be getting a game tomorrow. In regards to Bruno said it the other night, didn't he? He said it the other night that he doesn't want to rest. He says, I rest when I die, basically. He said so. That is obviously Bruno to a T, of course. If only we had more beer. Big up, Earthbound. What's going on, you legend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. But, mate, more or less, guys, look, you know what? You could throw everything against the wall and hope it sticks. You can throw everything against the wall and hope it sticks, and hope that, whatever player is going to play tomorrow. But I would play a young team. I don't know about you. I would play some of these young players. You never know what you're going to unearth. You never know what player is going to come through the door, what player is going to grab his opportunity. And you know what it would do? It would save money next season, wouldn't it? It would save money. And you know what, we will, we can look at other positions if a player comes through. Let's say Mantato or Camerson come through and they end up being these superstars. You never know what can happen. You save yourself 100 million. Kenny, what's going on? I'm predicting 2-1 Man United. Brentford form at home ain't good, Sal. That's a good lineup. But thank you so much, Kenny. I'm a little bit worried about Brentford in regards to, they just beaten Nottingham Forest 2-0 away. They also won the game before that 4-1, wasn't it? They won a couple of games. We are poor at Brentford, as Irfan said. He's absolutely spot on. I can't remember the last time we beat Brentford. It was a few years ago when Eriksson scored, if I can remember. But we haven't won much there. We lost 4-0 there. We've lost 4-1 there. I remember that. Was it Erik ten Hag's first away defeat? Was it against Brentford? But I hope that things can change. Things ain't absolute. Things can change, isn't it? Things can change in football. You never know what happens in football. We might go there tomorrow not expecting to win with a weakened side and go there and win. That would be incredible. And wouldn't it be great if a Matato or a Chido, Fredrickson and Amas take their opportunities? Big up SLD. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Really good to see you. Also, wouldn't it be better if De Ligt play in the middle or the back three? Fredrickson is probably quicker than De Ligt. I'm not sure. I think Fredrickson plays. I'm going by what he plays in the youth team. And basically, either way, it really doesn't matter, SLD. The fact of the matter is he will be surrounded by Luke Shaw and De Ligt in his team, which will help him. And I think this will be good for him. Looking at the lineup, there's going to be odd changes. Of course, this is subjective. Of course, this isn't the absolute lineup, exclusive lineup coming out live. This isn't going to be that. But, this is not going to be the team tomorrow. I guarantee you. We're going to be pretty disappointed when we see the team tomorrow because we're going to see Eriksson, right? We're going to see Lindelof. We're going to see Højlund. We're going to see these players tomorrow, and we're not going to see Chido. We're not going to see Mantato. We're not going to see Fred. We might see Fredrickson. We might not even see Amas. It might be Dorgan. But if Ruben Amram's smart, he knows to rest some of these players. Thank you so much, Irfan. I hope you're doing well, brother. I hope you're good. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. Big up everyone. Hi, Sal. Big up Steve-O. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Amram has to tell Bruno just half a game. I wouldn't play him from the start at all. Also, not sure Ugarte should play. I want to see the kids checked out for the game. I do as well, Steve. I really do. When I look at the lineup and I want to see Kone, Steve. I want to see Kone. I just don't think it's going to happen. What Ruben Amram needs to do, he needs to click out of the zone of Premier League, right? He needs to say, right, this is a preseason friendly. This is it. This is what he needs to do, in my opinion. He won't do that. That's the thing. I fear that he won't do that. That's the thing. I think that he will play the likes of Eriksson maybe and players like that. But who can play instead of Ugarte? I think Kone can play instead of Ugarte. If you're going to bring a young player in, I would definitely not play Casemiro. We need Casemiro. We need Ugarte. But you're spot on, Steve. Man United do need as many young players in that team as possible. And as you said, in regards to Bruno, I know that Bruno wants to play every game. Bruno said that I rest when I die. That's what Bruno said. But Bruno needs to be smart. He's not a robot and, he needs to rest. We need Bruno. We need Bruno for that semi-final. We need Bruno for that final. We need these players. If Bruno, God forbid, got injured, if one of these players got injured, we are in big problem. If Ugarte or Casemiro got injured, we are in big problems, of course. So there you go. But that is more or less the team that I would pick. But obviously, you can shuffle it a little bit. It's of course, definitely. The reason I put De Ligt and Shaw is the fact that in that position like that is the fact that the likes of Mbeumo are very quick on the wings. So we can split the three centre-backs into covering those wing positions. If Amas or Mantato, or it's going to, whoever plays on those wing-back positions, they are going to go forward and then they're going to leave a space on those two flanks. So it's going to be the responsibility of Shaw and De Ligt to cover those areas. That's what I would pick. Of course, that kind of formation. Man United perform better away from home. That's why I'm confident that we can. I hope so, Kenny. That is what it's all about at the end of the day. I hope we can win tomorrow. The only thing is that obviously the edge of the game is going to be taken away, isn't it? Because we don't really need to win. And I hope the problem with this team and this club at the moment in regards to mentality is that they just need an inch and they would take a mile. They'll take a foot, basically a foot long. And that is the problem. If they don't need to win, they tend to not win. And that is a bit of a problem. Brentford will be smelling blood tomorrow. Brentford, you know what Brentford are? Brentford are the team that play against Man United. They love to play against Man United. But what I really do hope that they change the narrative. And you know what people are expecting won't happen. And Man United go out there and get that win, of course, guys. Absolutely. When we look at Manchester United in general, and you look at the results of Man United against Brentford, especially the last few results, the 4-0 there stands out, of course, which was Erik ten Hag, the start of Erik ten Hag's tenure as Manchester United manager. It was only 3 years ago. It seems like 10 years ago, doesn't it? We did win 2-1 in 2023. We drew 1-1 in 2024. So you know what? 1-1 wasn't a bad score. It wasn't a bad score, but I remember this game against Brentford, the 1-1 game was a year ago, and we conceded, we equalized late, didn't we? Oh, no, we scored late. Mason Mount scored late. If I'm not correct, Mason Mount scored late and then Brentford equalised later, of course. And then we had the win against Brentford earlier in the season. So it's the way form, of course, we need to pick up. We need to win at Brentford. We haven't won at Brentford in a long time. So, you know, it would be nice to get a win against Brentford. Absolutely. At Brentford. Irfan, Bruno's talent and physique and also being a good athlete make him able to go on and on. Some athletes just have the ability. Yeah, some athletes do. But wouldn't it be great if we can give him some rest? Because as much of a machine he is, I've seen people like Bruno in my life in regards to running marathons and running. I'm a runner. And they can run for days. They can run for days. They can do whatever. They can sprint. They can run even in their 40s. But then it just click and it's gone. You know, and once it's gone, it's gone. So what I would do, I would manage Bruno very well. Send Bruno off to see your family, spend some time with your family, eat some food, go and get some dinner, whatever. That's what I would do to Bruno. It's not just the physique. It's more to do with this. And he may not think he needs it, but his body's screaming out for it. And I would say that, Bruno, we need you, mate. We need you for the final. We need you for Thursday. We cannot risk someone coming in with a 2-footed challenge, getting you injured. That's what I would say. Natty, what's going on, my friend? I'll be doing well. Good morning, sir. Who cares about this game? I mean, Natty, look, you know what? What I would say is that it's not the most important game of all time, is it? But what I would say is that what we need to do, what is exciting for me, if it does indeed happen, is that we play some young players. You know, we get to see some of those young players. We get to see Mantato. We get to see Makamas, and we get to see Harry Amas. That's exciting. Football's football. Football's exciting, you know? At least we got football, because once football ends this season, once we have no more football, that's it, isn't it? We have to wait months and months and months, you know? And you remember when the international break and we had the Euros and stuff like that was happening? And you remember when that was happening? And, you know, it was boring, wasn't it? To be honest with you. So it's great to have the game here. It's great. You know what it is, Natty? You know what? It's great to relax in this game. It's great to relax in this game. It's great to take it easy because we got a stressful game coming up Thursday. And obviously we got a game coming up against Tottenham, probably in the Europa League final. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully it is Bodo Glimt. I think we have to rest Bruno. I agree. We have to tell him. Let's get the win ahead of the return clash against Bilbao. Bilbao are getting very ahead of themselves. They're getting excited about the game at Old Trafford. Of course, Old Trafford, you know what, hasn't been the fortress that it has been over the last 20, 30 years under Sir Alex Ferguson. But Athletic Bilbao seem pretty confident that they're going to go to Man United and win by 3 clear goals. And I don't think that's going to happen. Guys, look, you know what? Man United at their worst, right, would not lose 3-0 or 5-2 or 4-1 to Bilbao at Old Trafford. If Man United lose, Man United might lose 1-0, 2-1, 3-2. You know, I don't think Man United are going to lose this game. I think the pressure on Bilbao to attack will work in our favor. Bilbao are not an attacking team. They don't score many goals. So I think that Man United will pick them off. Like, they will end up picking them off. Natural talent make up stamina in the sense that you don't need to use a lot of energy to perform. If we look at over the years, the natural ability was missing. You have to give these things. As I said, it's not just about natural physique or stamina. As like me, I've won 3 marathons, fan. You know, it's not just about that. It's about this. It's about this. You may think that you can go on forever, right? And you may think that, you know what, you're taking it easy in a game, you're this and that, but too much football is overkill. You're overkilling it. Because you've got to freshen your mind sometimes. You've got to freshen your mind. You've got to think, like, he doesn't need to play against Brentford tomorrow. He doesn't need to play against Brentford. This is the thing. We don't need Bruno against Brentford tomorrow. Maybe play a youngster. Maybe play Ahmad and Garnacho, or play Ahmad and Eriksson, or play someone like that. Do you know what I mean? Who haven't played much and need the match fitness. That's what we need to do, in my opinion. Sal, what is the best attribute of Mount? When Mason Mount is fit, Mason Mount's best attribute is possession, Natty. When he won the Player of the Year for Chelsea in the season that Chelsea won the Champions League, I felt that he was very good at keeping the ball, passing the ball, creating. I've always felt, though, Natty, if I'm being honest with you, I didn't want to sign Mason Mount. I've always felt that Mason Mount was overrated. That's my opinion. I never felt that Mason Mount was one of those guys. They do not know about Old Trafford history. They don't. Absolutely not. it's best we beat Bilbao, basically counter-attack. Yeah, absolutely. This is what we got to do, Kenny. We got to frustrate Bilbao. So when Bilbao go forward, we have nothing. We don't need to worry. We don't need to worry. All we need to do is pick them off. Hoof that ball forward. Let Bilbao come at us. As soon as we get a chance to counter-attack, boom. And as soon as if Man United score, it's more or less game over, isn't it? Bruno's not overweight, but very fragile. But you're right. You need to slow it down. But then again, we need Bruno, fan. We need Bruno, right? We need Bruno for this next few games in the Europa League, right? And you know one thing that Cristiano Ronaldo once said? When Cristiano Ronaldo first played for Man United, the first time he came to Man United, he wanted to play every game. So what Sir Alex Ferguson did, even though Ronaldo wanted to play every game, Sir Alex Ferguson sent him off to Madeira. He said, no. You take it easy, mate. Go off and see your family in Madeira. That's what he used to do. And then when he come back, he was fresh. And you know what? He was ready for it. And I just feel like overkill. I just feel like this game, maybe keep Bruno on the bench. Maybe, all right then, maybe play Bruno for one half. You know, don't play him the full game. You know, and that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Just wrap him up in cotton wool. You know, let him mentally relax with his family and stuff like that. And that's what I would do. But yeah. Yorkshire Cowboy, what's going on, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're doing good. Squad has to be used. The first team has to stay fit. I agree. We have to be smart. Absolutely. And Mason Mount is further away from the first team than I am. Jeffrey player. What's happened to Mason Mount, guys? I know that, you know what, when we first signed Mason Mount, I was not a fan of Mason Mount. People know me. They know that I didn't want Mason Mount. But when he signed for Man United, they know that I'm going to back Mason Mount, you know. And to be honest with you, I still see him as a Chelsea player. I don't know why. I haven't seen him as a Man United player so far. And you know what? It's proven our point that, you know what, he just isn't, he doesn't have it, you know, as a Manchester United player. And I feel like we should try and cash in on him in the summer. Whatever money we can get for Mason Mount would be fabulous. If we can get 30 million for Mason Mount, 25 million for Mason Mount, brilliant. You know what I mean? But I don't know if we can. At this rate, Brown is going to score freely and playing well. I can say he's the Ballon d'Or space. If football was fair, fam, if football was based on achievements, if football was based on performances and availability, Bruno would have a big chance of winning the Ballon d'Or. But because the Ballon d'Or is corrupt, and I know that from the 98-99 when we won the treble, right? Because it's corrupt, I can't see him getting anywhere close to it. But there's many players and Man United players over the years who should have won a Ballon d'Or. Eric Cantona, for example, you know what I mean? You know, there were great players out there. Dwight York should have won a Ballon d'Or. David Beckham should have won a Ballon d'Or. Paul Scholes should have won a Ballon d'Or. Peter Schmeichel should have won a Ballon d'Or. But no, they won't, because at the end of the day, if we're winning the Champions League and we're winning trebles and none of our players win a Ballon d'Or, how are we going to win a Ballon d'Or if we just win the Europa League? You know, it's biased. And there is an anti-English thing in Europe in regards to winning the Ballon d'Or, which is crazy. But we don't care about that. We have to be careful about injury against Athletic Bilbao, or we do not have to allow ourselves to get injuries. Natty, it's a good point. Natty, this is a good point. We cannot allow ourselves to be sucked in to the pressure of the game. This game is pressure for Bilbao, not us. So we must not get involved in any shenanigans. Don't get involved in any confrontations. Don't risk getting a yellow card. Don't risk getting a red card. I'm not sure who has a yellow card in the game. I do know that Lenny Yoro has a yellow card in the game. So what's most important is that we don't get any more yellow cards and miss the final. But it's also the same against against Brentford tomorrow, you know, and we can't risk getting injuries. We can't. And whether that is obviously De Ligt, whether that's Ahmad, whether that's Dorgu, whether that's, you know, whoever it is, you know, we can't risk getting any more injuries. And what I would say is that we have to make sure that we come out of that game tomorrow without getting embarrassed. I mean, as I said, I mean, I would love Man United to win the game, but I mean, I'll be happy with a draw. I wouldn't mind the draw so much. Now, a little bit of light-hearted thing, guys. I want to show you something real quickly, if you don't mind. Okay, so let me see if I can find it first. Here we are. I Can't even find it. Where's it gone? My goodness me, I can't even find the damn thing. There's the damn thing. Where's the damn thing? All right, let me get this up for you. I want to show you this, right? Let me just get this out 1 second. I want you to look at Harry Maguire here. All right. This is Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire and Kobe Mainoo are having a stare-off competition. Right. I'm looking at Harry Maguire here, and I'm looking at a future superstar in regards to horror movies. I think that horror movies, I think if you look at Harry Maguire here, it reminds me of Jack Nicholson from The Shining. You remember Jack Nicholson from The Shining? Hold on, let me mute this. There you go. There, it looks terrifying. For me, he looks terrifying there. If I'm being honest with you guys, he looks very terrifying there. If I'm being honest, he looks scary. There's Jack Nicholson there. So if Maguire decides to leave Manchester United, there is a film opportunity for him there, because that is a very scary face. Imagine have you seen the film Smile? Have you seen the film Smile? That is what Harry Maguire reminds me of there. Harry Maguire should be in the film Smile. I mean, if you've seen the film Smile, I don't know if you've seen it. Absolutely. Yorkshire Cowboy. Chelsea spotted his decline. I honestly don't rate him at all. Collier is twice the player. Palestri is better than him. There you go, Yorkshire Cowboy. I mean, he's got a long way to go, hasn't he? He hasn't really performed for Manchester United. Some people who said Bruno have no footballing, you have no check your brain. Check yourself or you wreck yourself, Natty. Check yourself or you wreck yourself. One thing I would say in defense of those people who were questioning Bruno Fernandes is that criticism is part of the game. I would say that it's okay to criticize players, because Bruno, for half a season, did not perform, right? And when Roy Keane coincidentally called out Bruno, suddenly Bruno became this great player. Now, maybe that was a kick up the backside. Maybe that, maybe he clocked on to who he is, but I remember Bruno from the first time he came to Man United till now. And if we think about a package in regards to Bruno since the time he signed for Man United under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and now he's been very important for us. He's been very important for us. He's been imperative for us. He's been extremely important. Is it only me, but does Mount seem to get angry whenever he gets tackled? That could be a point. You know what? That could be something that maybe he's still feeling something. Who knows? Maybe he's got this injury that he's still nicking at him and stuff like that. Maybe I do know he had a pelvis injury, and I do know that the medication that you take for pelvis injuries does have a knock-on effect. Maybe he doesn't want to get injured again. Maybe he's made of glass. Maybe he doesn't want to get injured again and he's scared about being injured. And if that is the case, maybe we need to move him on, in my opinion. I don't know. York 99, best player in Europe by a mile that season. Dwight York was one of the best players in Europe. I would say David Beckham for me. And the reason I would say David Beckham, but this is subjective, guys. This is not an absolute. That I would say David Beckham and Schmeichel as well. The reason I'll say David Beckham, because David Beckham came from the 1998 World Cup after that red card and got the amount of abuse he received in the crowd, including abuse aimed at his wife and family, was absolutely atrocious. Most of Dwight York's goals came from David Beckham crosses. Also, David Beckham was a consistent performer for Manchester United before the 1998-99 season. Dwight York had 1.5 good seasons for Man United. So what I would say is that David Beckham was by far the best player in 98-99, along with Roy Keane, along with Paul Scholes, along with Ryan Giggs, along with David Schmeichel, along with Jaap Stam, along with Ronnie Johnson, along with Dennis Irwin, along with Gary Neville, along with Andy Cole. It's very hard to pick, isn't it? It is very hard to pick. But what I would say is that I would pick my personal choice, David Beckham, because of what David Beckham suffered and the assists he made in that season. contributed to Man United. You look at the cross against Juventus, right? For Roy Keane. You look at the crosses against Inter Milan. Big games, guys. Big games. Two crosses against Inter Milan, 2 goals. You look at the crosses against Barcelona in the Champions League that season. You look at the 2 crosses in the Champions League final. An inch there, an inch that way, we don't win the treble. We don't win the treble. But Beckham supplied the balls for those players. But it is very, very thin. Dwight York just put the ball in the net with his head because of Beckham. And that's why I say Beckham's highly underrated. He's rubbish, fan. What is he? A wing back, a midfield? I don't know what he is. I don't know. I mean, I didn't know a long time ago. Some people said that Bruno have no football IQ, Natty. I mean, that's wrong. That's wrong. That he has a football IQ. You know, the only problem with Bruno, the criticism that people were giving Bruno is that he tries the Hollywood pass sometimes. But that's only because he's desperate for the team to win. Now, when we talk about football IQ, let's think about Casemiro, right? Look at Casemiro against Lyon. He could have done anything with that ball. Anything. He crossed it straight on the head of Maguire. Football IQ. That's it. In those moments right there, it's what Beckham used to do. Get that cross in. The right time. Football IQ. Absolutely. But yeah, Bruno has a football IQ. Definitely. Big up, Danny B. What's going on, you legend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Yeah, I definitely can see Harry dressed in his Ted's bum running in a hotel. Mate, he's scary, mate. I wouldn't want to see him in the dark alley. I'm telling you. Absolutely. Absolutely. I wouldn't want to see him in a dark alley. Maybe one day Mount will find his form. Injuries can kill a player. Absolutely. Also, he's not got no first choice, which will make game time difficult. I'm just thinking that we can make some money from him, fam. You know, I'm thinking we can make some money. Sal, what is he eating? Lamb chops? I don't know, mate. I don't know. That was funny, though. That was absolutely funny. Players like Sancho and Rashid should learn from Maguire and Casemiro. Spot on, Paul. You see, like, Harry Maguire had probably the worst thing to happen to him, right? He had his captaincy removed, right? He didn't go to Twitter. He didn't resort to insults on Twitter, petty little arguments on Twitter. He got on with it, kept his head down and got on with it. That is what I call professionalism. Still on cloud 9 against Bilbao. Felt like we are in the Champions League semi-finals or finals. It was lovely, Kenny. It was a lovely game. And it was a beautiful game for us because, you know what? For a change, a little bit luck went our way. But the rules are the rules. Bilbao are crying about what happened. The rules are the rules. If the Bilbao player went for the ball, if he didn't get the ball, it's a penalty and it's a yellow card. But he didn't go for the ball at all. He dragged back Højlund, which is a professional foul, which is a red card and a penalty. I don't know what they're looking at. I don't know. Garnacho should have had a penalty as well. And I just feel like, you know, we won that game comfortably. And I actually feel, guys, forget about the red card. I actually feel if Rasmus Højlund was left alone and he buries that ball in the back of the net to make it 2-0, I think Man United would have won 4 or 5-0, 11 against 11. Because I felt like Bilbao were happy to accept a 3-0 loss. I agree, Bruno deserves the Premier League for Man United. I remember your tweet. Yeah, thank you, Kenny. I mean, I've actually done a little video for Bruno Fernandes. People don't know this. I actually done a little video for Bruno Fernandes. I'll bring it on the show soon. And Bruno Fernandes deserves it. He deserves it. I mean, I've done a video of Bruno Fernandes' first training session at Man United. And, you know, there's certain players that deserve the Premier League title or European trophy. I mean, I always felt that De Gea deserved, you know, a European trophy, what he'd done for Man United in those years. Bruno, he did get one anyway, but Bruno deserves some major trophies. He does. He's been very loyal to us. Absolutely. Still laughing at Maguire, the wing wizard. Big up. That's it. Big up Maguire, the wing wizard, of course. Let's bring Maguire. Yes. You know what? I wouldn't want to see this. If I wouldn't want to see this running down the wing. I wouldn't want to see this running down the wing. I wouldn't want to see him coming towards me. I would not. Would you want to see this? If you're in a hotel lobby or a hotel corridor, right? And you see this man with an axe, you know what I mean? What are you going to do? I mean, this is scary. This is scary. I should put a, goodness me. Apparently, Amram is quite impressed with Casemiro's professionalism, which is true. Even on the bench, he showed great passion. Spot on, fan. Spot on. You can't take class out of a class player, can you? It's just a class player. And as I said, if we get to the final and we end up playing the likes of Tottenham, if Tottenham look up and they see Casemiro, you're looking at 5-time European champion Casemiro. You know what I mean? There's a big difference there between him and Maddison. You know what I mean? 5-time European champion. That's why every time Casemiro plays in a final, he grabs the game. Our victories in Europa will definitely influence other new players at the club. The way we beat Lyon and the recent 3-0 result in Spain, potential targets will want to piece of the action at United. Absolutely, Steve. It's a knock-on effect. It's a domino effect. And to be honest with you, if we get into the Champions League, we're going to see some surprises. We're going to see some big signings from Man United. We're going to see some players that we want. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And I can't wait. I'm all for it, of course. Do you, if we win the Europa League, our strikers will change? Yes, Natty. Don't be surprised if Man United get Gutierrez if we qualify for the Champions League. Don't be surprised if Man United get an Osman if we qualify for the Champions League. If Man United don't qualify for the Champions League, don't be surprised if Man United get Dilap. That is the difference. Osman and Gutierrez, unless we pay him a lot of money to come to Man United without Champions League football, won't come to Man United. I mean, especially if the likes of Arsenal and Liverpool and Chelsea and Man City are going after the same players. Absolutely. It was the best partnership in football history, Kenny, I would say. Do you think if we win the Europa League, our strikers will... Yeah, sorry, I read that one. Beckham is Bill Mars, any free kicks and corners and crosses. Beckham could cross a ball when the ball is still, without even moving his body, just one leg, boof, straight onto the head. It was just another potential. There was another potential where they escaped from. They should have had a red card long before that. This is what they don't understand. They didn't really analyze the game the way they should. You know, accountability is the first sign of improvement, isn't it? Accountability is the first sign of improvement. Absolutely. I've got Maguire looking at me. Maguire's freaking me out at the moment. Harry Maguire is looking at me, so I'm going to remove Harry because he's looking at me. He's enjoying the show, as you can see. He's enjoying the show. Glad Harry's enjoying the show. There you go. Let's remove Harry from there because he is freaking me out. Absolutely. There we go. Irfan. Nor did Maguire become a freedom fighter. So, yeah, I know. Big up Batiste and big up Anthony. I hope that Raul Batiste win the Conference League and Anthony lifts that Conference League. That's it. Garnacho was also brought down. Clear penalty. No VR. Imagine if they went down to 9 men. Absolutely, Irfan. They collapsed. We didn't collapse for them. They collapsed. You know, no one told them to lose 3-0 at halftime. We were down to 10 men against Arsenal. For how long? Did we capitulate? Did we lose 3-0? No, we won the game. We fought. We fight. There was no reason that Bilbao couldn't go out there and get a couple of goals. You know what I mean? I mean, Lyon did it at Old Trafford. You know what I mean? So what you got to do is just say adversity. We've had a red card. It was a red card. It's unfortunate, but it is a red card. And we have to move on and we have to try and, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, fight. It's crazy. You know, they're just moaning and stuff, you know. But Bruno does make trophy, and what better the PR and at least playing with the knockout stage of Champions League. He deserves it, Irfan. I agree. There's few players that deserve it. I don't really say this often about deserving because you get what you deserve. But Bruno deserves it. He deserves it. And I would say that. And there's only a few players I would say that at the moment. I mean, he's the only one. Absolutely. I think experience in the final is not easy thing. I think experience in the final is not easy thing. It can help us, man. It can. And having Casemiro, having the likes of Bruno in the final, I mean, it only can add confidence to you, can't it? Facts, Irfan Beckham was the best crosser of the ball in Premier League era, in European football history, in my opinion. Best crosser of the ball. Hey, big up Jengus. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, man. Like Jengus, big up yourself. Jengus, I don't know what's going on with the comments on YouTube. I saw it, but my comment was deleted as well. I don't know why they're getting deleted. I don't know. Sorry, mate. But you know what? I read it and I agree. Shame you can't do an animation of Harry looking through the door like The Shining. Say, here's Harry. Oh, my goodness me. You're giving me an idea, Steve. You're giving me an idea. I'm going to try and do it. Game management, it was very good. Bilbao were completely nullified. Absolutely. Completely nullified. Absolutely. Definitely. We played well. I mean, and they just need to hold that. Bruno can get a title similar to Robson did. Captain Marvel. Absolutely. Captain Marvel. I would love that. That would be brilliant. He deserves it. And, you know, criticism, but I would stress, criticism is part of the game. And we're all entitled to criticize. We all want the best for our club. We want us to win. We feel like we can. And, you know what, it'd be great if you know, we bring the Premier League title home again. You know, it'd be great if we can get our 21 titles. You know, it would be great. Unfortunately, it would be great. Not unfortunately, but God willing. Beckham's ball ability is so underrated. Beckham was the next level, mate. I was at the game when Beckham scored a halfway line goal against Wimbledon. I was at that game. You know, that guy was a teenager when he did it. Well, he was 20, 21 when he did that. I mean, anyone else did that this year. Any other player that's out now scored a goal, some of the goals that David Beckham scored, they'll be crying about it for years. Absolutely. Jengos, yeah, no, it's just YouTube at daft. I mean, YouTube deleted a few of my comments. There's one or two that stay, but they're daft. They deleted a couple of my comments. And I think Tyborg, who comes on this show a lot, legend, he gets it sometimes. It does get deleted. Football's a funny game, Sal. Most people might have been happy with the draw against Bilbao, but at the end of the day, it was disappointing we didn't get 4 goals. We could have really finished that game, Steve. But it looked like Bilbao were happy to sit back and take the 3-0. You know, but when we look at it, no one really, in their heart of hearts, envisioned us winning 3-0 away at Bilbao. No one goes to Bilbao and wins 3-0. Not your Lamine Yamals and your Barcelonas and your Real Madrids and your Atletico Madrids and your Simeones. They don't go to Bilbao and win 3-0. It's always a tough place to go. Absolutely. If by it means United qualifies for the Champions League, do you think it will make them reconsider the current qualifications format for the Champions League? I find it funny, Irfan, that people are starting to cry about it now. You know, this thing has been going on for years. I'm a big advocate for trophies. I think there should be an incentive to win trophies. I don't think there should be an incentive to come 4th, 5th, 6th best team. I don't think that should be, because that's promoting a loser mentality. I do believe the top 4 should go to should qualify for the Champions League. I'm not saying that it shouldn't, but I do also believe that the Europa League play should equal a Champions League spot, because I also believe that the FA Cup should as well. I think that you should be rewarded for winning trophies. That is what it is, because that is what football truly is about. When you retire, you're going to show your trophies. You're going to be showing off your trophies. You're not going to be showing off my 4th place position. Here, I came 4th place in that season. No one cares, you know? You want the trophies. You want the medals. You want the accolades. That's what you want. That's what football's about, in my opinion. And I feel like just because it's Manchester United, people have found a way to moan about it because it's Manchester United. If it was anyone else, they wouldn't be moaning. They wouldn't be moaning. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'm off now. Let me have a look at Natty. Mazrou is the kind of player every game you get a 70 out of 10 performance. Absolutely, Natty. Would rest him tomorrow. We earned our Europa League, winning the FA Cup. Nothing to do with the season league. Absolutely, Jengus. Absolutely. And this is what I said on Twitter today. You know, this is what I said on Twitter. I said that, you know what, Man United won it. We earned it. But if we want to bring in, you know, talk about the Champions League, who has a right to qualify for the Champions League? Man United are the pioneers of the Champions League. The pioneers of the Champions League in England. We were the first ones to believe in it. We sacrificed ourselves. We were threatened with a points deductions, which led to us crashing in 1958. you know? And they don't give us the appreciation of that. No other English team wanted European football. When I hear the name Brian Mossad, it melts my heart. The guy was a genius. The first player I saw pass the ball right across the field. Brilliant player. Captain Marvel. Expected us to get 3 goals. I'm glad it happened. Big up, Kenny. Yes, you did. I remember that prediction. He said 3-1, Kenny. Big up, Kenny. Atalanta are the Champions League because they won the Europa League that season. Nobody moaning about them. Man United hate. It's an illness. That was too quick. Finished already. Big up, everyone. Big up, Rat Steve. Oh, yes, I'm finished already. Cup Winners' Cup should never have been cancelled. No League Cup formats. They're the Cup Winners' Cup. I mean, look, people want to talk about Arsenal. Arsenal actually made a song about the Cup Winners' Cup. Winning the Cup Winners' Cup. 1-0 to the Arsenal. They actually made a song about it. And then they're crying about us talking about the Europa League. It's unbelievable. My first game at Old Trafford, Robson put one in the top corner. You're lucky to see Robson play, my friend. Thanks, Sal. Great stream. Love you. Enjoy you guys. Big up, fan. Much love to you, brother. Big up, of course. And yeah, guys, look, you know what? We have an intelligent community here, and I'm really glad that, you know what, we get to talk to each other every day, and I'm happy about it. And to be honest with you, if we win this Europa League, it will make a very stressful and difficult season worth it. You know, I can only imagine the celebrations that we'll have on the stream. You know, I wish I was in Bilbao for that, you know, but I'm happy. And hopefully Man United do the business, hopefully. Big up, Yorkshire Cowboy. Much love to you, brother. Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well. Thank you guys for joining me. I know it's a little bit 10 minutes early, but I've got to go out and do a couple of things. But thank you, everyone who's joined me today. You guys are absolute legends. Have a great day, evening, night, wherever you are in the world. And I will see you tomorrow for Breaking Dawn and the watch along tomorrow, of course, guys. So don't forget that. Guys, thank you so much. And don't forget to smash a like, please, before you leave. And subscribe if you're new. You know what I mean? If you're a secret watcher, if you can possibly subscribe, that'd be fantastic. Thank you, guys. I'm Sal Warner. This is Chatterbox. And take it easy. Bring on Brentford. Let's go. Let's do this. Peace.